Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, I guess, if you're watching on the other side of the world. This is uh, Training Tuesdays. Get started with Vendasta. And we are going to be talking today about the Snapshot Report, how you can diagnose visibility gaps and close more deals with the help of this tool and the AI that powers it. As always, I am Nathan Yaworski, your friendly neighborhood customer success manager, and I'm joined by Lily Yip, my fellow customer success manager. Lily is going to be helping in the questions section for today. Now, you may be wondering, are we recording this? And yes, we are recording. We'll have a replay link shared in a follow-up email, and you'll be able to access it that way. You can also access replays of past webinar recordings on the Vendasta content library. And I don't know, Lily, if you could pop that link up for our content library from our CTAs here. There we go. So if you right click on that, open in a new tab, don't leave the webinar. You don't want to miss out on today, but you do want to bookmark this so you can watch back any of the other webinars that are going out. As always, we are going to be devoting some of our time to Q&A. So please, please, please use the Q&A section of our SQL dashboard here, and we'll be able to address those after the demonstration. Then, without further ado, let's hop right to it. So I am, as always, in our demo environment here, and you can see that we're working out a partner center. The reason we're working out a partner center today is the snapshot report is only available for you as the agency. It's not something you can resell to your clients, unlike most of the tools and functionality in here. This is just for you guys as the agency. Now, before I dive in, I've got a little poll here. I'd like to get a sense of where everyone's at with the snapshot report. Who uses it? Who maybe doesn't use it as much, or if you don't know anything about it at all. So, how often would you say that you make the snapshot report a part of your sales pitch? I'll just give you a couple moments here to get some answers onto the board. Oh, that's fantastic. I'm seeing a lot of every time. Got a couple that don't use it, and some that it depends on the client, which is definitely understandable. There would be some clients that you maybe want to have a little more manual work to put into it. But for the most part, it does seem like we are making use of the snapshot report. Now, for those of you, if there are any out there who don't know what the snapshot report is, and thank you, Lily, you can go ahead and close that poll, take it off the screen there. For those of you who don't know what the snapshot report is, essentially it is a digital audit of a business's online presence. You can think of it like a digital report card. It's going to give a business scour the internet for their online presence. It will give them a grade, an overall score, and then letter grades in each of the important sections of their online presence, their business listings, their reputation, their social presence, their website performance, things like that. Now, in order to run a snapshot report, there's a couple ways we can do it. If you already have a client brought in as an account, you can run it right from this page by clicking on the little plus sign where it says create snapshot. Or if you're working from the top of the funnel up in your CRM here, when we are in the company profile, on our right hand side, we've got a whole bunch of drop down menus here, and we have reports. And you can see I created a snapshot report for this business today. But you can click if you hadn't created one, there would be a button that says create snapshot report. Now, depending on your subscription with Vendasta, you're going to get a certain number of snapshot reports per month. If you're on our starter subscription, generally you have about 10 free snapshot reports a month. On professional, generally you'll have 25 a month. And on the premium tier, you should have about 50 a month. Uh, that's not to say you're limited to that many. If you want to run additional snapshot reports beyond the allotted free number that you get with your subscription, they are only $2 American per additional report. So one or two others won't break the bank, but maybe don't run 1,000 all at once unless you're willing to shell out all that extra. Um, as far as what was I going to say here? As far as who you can be running these on, essentially any business that you put into Partner Center, whether it's one that you've pulled in manually by creating a company here, importing the bulk list, or using that find leads functionality, can have a snapshot report run on it. Now, the more online presence they have, the more data is going to pull into that report, but it is going to do its best to find mentions of the business. Check on Google, check on Facebook, check with the AI large language models uh, as to how that business is coming up, if it's coming up in the right places, and if it's being called out as an option when people Google, say, um, record store near me or plumber near me. Now, the thing about the snapshot report is it doesn't work right away when you run it. I mentioned today that I had run this snapshot report. Share this tab instead. I'd run this snapshot report earlier today, and it to populate here. However, it takes about 24 hours to gather enough data to be really useful and to be as accurate as possible. So this is definitely not a tool you're going to want to run on your potential client an hour or two before you meet them. You're going to want to give this some time to cook, populate that data. Now, beyond that 24 hours, the report stays active for 7 more days. And by stays active, I essentially mean that it's going to continue trying to pull in new information to improve those scores. After that 24-hour piece, it's about 95% complete and accurate and up to date. But any changes you make will affect the report as well. So if you go in here and you find that it has pulled in, say, an old phone number or maybe the wrong business category, well, then you can go in within that 7 days. You can go then into the accounts section of Partner Center for the business that you ran that report with and go in and edit those business details. And the new information within that first 7 days will will be added to the report and taken into account in the scoring. So if I needed to change the primary category, I could do that here in Partner Center in the account section, and then just click refresh on my report, and that would then update with the new information. Now, there's a number of ways you can customize this report. You can see I am in the partner view. There are two ways to look at the report. If you want to see how the customer sees it, very easy to do. You would just, instead of clicking edit report, you click view full report. And this is exactly how the client would see it if I sent it to them right now today. You can also see on the report, our AI chat receptionist lives inside these. So in addition to the AI chat receptionist that you can put on your website to capture leads, in addition to living on your website, it lives inside the snapshot report as well. And it can answer questions about the um, snapshot report. So let me see here. Why was I given a C on my C grade on my website? And the assistant is going to be able to answer high level questions about the report. Now, the more you want to dive into it with the AI will then prompt me to, oh, you should book some time with your sales rep or with our sales team. Your website received a C grade due to mixed performance across several key areas. Your homepage content scored well, earning an A, but there were lower marks for both mobile and desktop performance. So it gives a little overview of how to interpret these numbers. Really useful, and another fun way that you see AI integrated into your Vendasta tools. Now, you're not going to see that little pop up if you're looking at the edit view, because obviously, if I'm bringing us over here, this is your backend view. I want to hang out on this page a little bit because there are a few ways we can customize your report. Let's say you are working with somebody whose first language is Spanish and you want to be able to meet them where they're at. You want to translate your report. we have the language toggle here. It defaults to English, of course, but we have a number of different languages in there. If I click Spanish, it's going to translate the whole thing into Spanish. So it's a nice way to meet your client where they're at. Now, I can't speak for the actual translation here. I'm sure it's serviceable, but it may not be, high uh, high pros. This may be a limited um, uh, a limited reading level for translation's sake. So if you are a Spanish speaker, it might be a good idea to go in here and just have a look at it first, make sure that it's looking good. I'm going to go ahead and switch this back to English because my Spanish is almost non-existent, but that is an option for you as well. You can also see the video style. You can change the voiceover, and this is primarily just accents. If you want your voiceover to be Australian or British, and what those videos are is in each section here, we have a little uh, 10-20 second video about what's important.
Studies have shown that you have 8 seconds to influence a customer on your website.
And I'm not sure if you could hear that. I am sharing the tab, so hopefully you did. But it's a little animated, non-branded video that talks about why that section is important. So there's one for the websites and the reviews and the listings, et cetera, et cetera. Now, another thing you can add to the report from this edit view is competitor data. If you happen to know who keeps this business owner up at night, who their biggest competition in the local market is, you can add them to the report in a couple of different ways. Now, you can add them just by name and URL, so just putting a name and a website in there, and you can add up to 3 competitors. And if you do it that way, in our SEO section, it will give us a little chart about organic search traffic performance, and it will stack them up against their competitors in those organic search traffic metrics. Now, if you want to go even deeper, let's scroll back up to our competitors section at the top here. You can click this little button to use competitors snapshot reports in the same industry. Now, this can be even more in depth about how their competition is doing in comparison to them. In order to use this functionality, what you would have to do is add those competitors to your Partner Center CRM as companies, run snapshot reports on up to 3 of them, and then you can link the results from those snapshot reports into the report for the one that you actually want to talk to. Now, this is a great use of snapshot reports. Say you're getting to the end of the month and you haven't used all of your free snapshot reports yet. You've got a few burning a hole in your pocket, and you're not sure what you want to do with them. You can use some of those for competitor reports. Because the one thing I did forget to mention earlier, your monthly allotment of snapshot reports does not carry over into the next month. Once it hits the last day of the month, usually around 1 o'clock Eastern or 2 o'clock Eastern, it will roll over to a new month and reset your total back to the total that you normally have. So if you get 25 a month, it'll go from whatever it is now to 25. So those reports, essentially, if they don't get used, they get lost. So use them or lose them. And this is a great way to use some if you don't have uh, 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 a huge volume of clients in a month. If you're really wanting to focus in on one specific client's report, adding competitor data from their snapshot reports is a great way to do it. Now, the good news is if you don't know who their competitors are, who their competition is, that's fine. It's something I would maybe recommend trying to find out, because that is a really great way to light a fire under a business owner if they see their big competition's names in the report here. But if you just have no idea who their local competition would be, you could just compare to industry. And that's the default state. If you don't put any competitors in here, it'll be comparing them to their industry based on their business category in the local space. And it'll be comparing them to the industry averages as well as the industry leaders. Now, this part here, this blue bar here, is about where the snapshot report starts for your clients. If you remember, we can see this is the beginning of their report. And as we go down, we can see that there are a number of sections. As we mentioned, we have the website. It's going to be optimizing, or it's going to be grading them on how what their homepage looks like. what features are on there, and how it's performing. As we heard in that little video snippet, people are only willing to wait around about 8 seconds for a site to load, and I think 8 seconds is even a little generous. More and more, we've got a low attention span as a society. So the faster your website can load, the better. And this little report is going to show that in this case, desktop speeds are excellent, but their mobile site is a little bit laggy. It's just okay at 5.7 seconds. It also gives you some recommendations on the mobile and desktop experience. So, oh, here's some things you should fix. Here's some things you might consider fixing. And here's what looks great. Um, Same thing with the desktop. Now, the next section down here is AI optimization. This shows how they are showing up on AI powered search, like ChatGPT and Google's AI mode. A lot of people, more than just typing into Google now, are asking their large language model of choice to find businesses near them. And this shows how ready they are for AI to look at their website. Do they have easily parsable back end set of rules, the robots.txt, or an LLMS.txt file to provide AI models with a clean summary of the site? Is it easy for AI to read? And then how does it show up when people ask about the business? This is how AI views MC College, for instance, and how it compares to other colleges in the area. The next thing down here, we have our reviews. If your business, as we all know, if your business has bad reviews or little to no reviews, it's hard for people to trust you if they've never worked with you before. And this gives you a sense of how you're doing with how many reviews found, how many reviews you're getting per month on average, and what the average review score is. You can see we're falling down on our reviews here with an average score of less than 1 star, which is not great. The industry leaders being at 5, industry average being at 4.5. This brings up another point, and again, you can go through and look at all these different things here. I'm going to hop back to the uh, the partner-facing dashboard here. Let's say there is a section of this report that is irrelevant to the business that you are looking for. There are a lot of businesses out there. They could be dentists or lawyers, or in this case, private colleges that say an e-commerce section isn't really relevant. And if I brought MC College a report that said your online store is bad, you got an F, they're going to laugh me out of the room. What I'd rather do is leave that grade out completely. And you can see in the top of our section here, we have a little toggle. We can turn that off. It's going to gray out the e-commerce, remove it from our overall score consideration, and they won't be able to see it at all. So now if I refresh on the client side here, e-commerce should disappear. And there, voila, it's gone. This is a great way to, like I mentioned, remove irrelevant sections or remove sections that you're really not interested in delving into. Maybe you've decided for your agency that you're not really interested in doing a lot of advertising. Yes, people want it, but it's also very, you get a very low margin on that. So much of it goes to the advertiser, Google or Meta or whatever. Or maybe you've decided you're not interested in revamping websites. That sounds like, maybe that sounds like not your cup of tea. You can remove that as well. Any of these sections can be removed or moved up or down the list to optimize the report for the conversation that you want to have. Now, you might also see here, maybe there's parts of a section that you don't want to see. Instead of removing the whole social session, I just happen to know that this business owner isn't interested in X at all. Maybe they don't have an X listing, or maybe they have some gripe with X. They had a bad experience. They just want to remove it, or they don't want to see it at all. You happen to know that, you can remove the section about X, and it won't talk about it on the main portion there. Any of these little check marks indicate something that can be removed from the visibility of the report. Also, these little extra messages, the message here can be edited. If you don't like the default message that was given there, you can put your own in. And then down at the bottom, that call to action. If you don't like it, if you don't want it to say, want to learn how to take your social media presence to the next level, if you want to say your own words in there, you can put that in as well. Now, this also obviously we're seeing a lot of green here. We've got some orange and some red. I have uh, I have never seen a snapshot report grade higher than a 60%. It is a very strict rubric that it is grading against, and it is designed first and foremost as a sales tool. This is best for your first conversation with your client or your potential client, rather. And it shouldn't be used for proof of performance. So if you've been working with somebody for 3 months, you ran a snapshot report from for the beginning at the beginning, and you want to see how they've improved, don't run another snapshot report. Chances are those numbers will be higher, but because the whole purpose of the snapshot report is to give you a sales opportunity, it's going to be looking for uh, the little red flags, the little gaps that it can find, and it's going to hyper focus on them. The report doesn't make stuff up. It's not going to lie and make them look worse than they are just to get you another sale. But what it is going to do is it is going to heavily weigh any gaps that it finds because it wants to set you up for that sales conversation, to instill a little bit of that fear of loss in the client to aid your sales conversation. The report is the first step where it's like, here's the gaps I found. And then it's on you, the salesperson, to come in and say, and here is how we're going to fix it. If you've got low listings, we're going to get you a listing sync solution. If your reputation is a mess, we're going to request reviews from your satisfied customers. We're going to use AI to respond to reviews as they come in to take that off your plate, that kind of stuff. It helps you set the stage for your sales pitch and also gives you an idea of what sort of things they need. If I were pitching this customer, I would lean maybe a little less heavily on the reviews on the website side and the social side and lean really into our listings and our overall SEO, maybe advertising if they're into that as well. But it gives you an idea of what to focus on. Now that said, you might be saying, well, if it doesn't show proof of performance, how can I show people how they're doing after they've worked with me? The good news is we have something built right in along uh, with that in mind. We have view executive report. Now the executive report isn't a report that you have to run. It's not a report that you have a limit on how many you can make. Anyone who has an account and a business app portal has an executive report. I'll quickly hop into this business app and show you where that lives. I'm sure most of you know already. But your executive report is where all the data gets pulled in month over month to show the progress, show them how the work you're doing is moving the needle for them, how they've improved. It's not a live report. It's always looking at the past, and you can change the targeting. Right now, it defaults to the previous month, but if I wanted to look at the previous week, or I wanted to choose a custom date range, I could do the last 90 days or the last 6 months. If you were doing an SBR, for instance, a strategic business review, as some of you may have seen in our last sales and success webinar last Thursday, you could use the executive report to help frame that conversation. And again, it's built right in here. As long as you've got things turned on for your clients and their accounts plugged in, it's going to start pulling in numbers. Not a whole lot connected here, unfortunately, just because it is a demo environment. But and I don't have access to this college's Google profile for some reason. Uh, but you get the idea. That is your proof of performance. So you never want to run a snapshot report on someone twice. Use it for that first touch, and then going forward, that executive report is your best friend. Now, the other thing I wanted to mention is along with these scored sections, there is a technology section down at the bottom. This just gives an idea. It searches their website for plugins or other technology that it is able to find integrated with the website. And it just gives you an idea of what kind of tech stack this company is using. Essentially, all that you would want to use this section for is to see if there were ways that you could streamline their tech stack, if there's ways that Vendasta's products and services or some of our vendor products and services could fill some of the gaps that these solutions are filling so that they can have less of that vendor bloat. It's a section that is always interesting to look at. It's not necessarily a huge part of the Snapshot Report sales pitch, but again, feel free if you don't find it useful, you can toggle it off as well. I always like to see what they're working with because it always helps if you're, in addition to adding something new, you're able to save them some money on, say, their website hosting or uh, if they had Calendly, you could save them some money on Calendly, that kind of stuff, with using the integrated calendar functions. Now, when it comes time to send this report, there's a couple ways we could do it. There is a download button here. I don't necessarily recommend this. To be completely honest, when you download it, it does lay it out. It's all there, but it doesn't really make it look very nice. And some sections get split up on different pages. There's not really a good way to optimize the PDF. So what I recommend you do instead is send it through the platform. And that's just with this little paper airplane here. You click on that, you select who is going to be receiving this, who's it going to be coming from. So this is your name, your email. It should auto populate some of this. I'm not a salesperson in our demo environment, so it's not for me. But you select which contact you want to send, and it has a little message that it's churned out here. Now, let's say you don't like the default, or you want the default to be more specific to this specific report. We can click this little button next to our AI Sparkle. I'm going to click the drop down here, and I'm going to actually get it to suggest section specific content. Now, looking at their scores, I really kind of want to focus on listings and SEO. So I would like it to give me some listings and SEO content in the email body to make it a little more in line with what the report is. So here we go. I hope this email finds you well. Wanted to share some insights from your recent digital presence report. Your business has received a D grade and a C grade, etc. There are opportunities to improve your online visibility. So again, the AI will do its best to flesh out a nice email based on the contents of that report, and then of course you have the wherewithal to come in and edit yourself and fill in the blanks that it isn't auto filling. Then you just click send, and they will receive a link to the snapshot report. They can view it, and it's all under your own branding. Your agency logo will be up at the top, and it'll again have that AI widget in the bottom that'll help them interpret it a little bit should they need that assistance. Now, you might say, "Oh, it's all well and good, Nathan, to be able to take out, a section here or there when I need to, but I'm never going to be needing. My clients are all lawyers. My clients are all dentists, and they're not going to need the e-commerce section ever. Can I just have it so it never has the e-commerce?" And the good news there is certainly yes, you can. We're going to hop back to Partner Center here. We're going to scroll down to our administration section. And we are going to come down to platform settings, and we're going to click customize. From customize, we're going to click on sales. And this is where the snapshot report, if you don't want it to be called the snapshot report, you can change the name here. I kind of like snapshot report, but if you've got a better name, you can put a different name in there. But the main thing I want to show you in here is, where is it here? I seeing it. They used to have a little section. Maybe this is a new update that I didn't see before today. My apologies. But there should have been a way that we can customize the. Yeah, that's very interesting. Okay, well, I'm going to put a pin in that. I thought there was a way to customize the default template. Oh, here it is. Yeah, there we are. Under sales, snapshot report, edit default template. I didn't see that before, but here we go. And now you can see we've got the snapshot template. And if I want to make sure we never have an e-commerce section when it generates, and this one looks like it's already turned off, but we'll turn it back on for whatever. Maybe I want it back, but I can take that off. I can move the website up to the top if I prefer. I can move reviews up to the top if that's what I want to focus on. And then saving this template will just make it that going forward, any new reports that are generated will come in that layout. All right. The last little thing I'll mention, as you know, we have that. Where is it here? I want to go back, and again. There we go. We mentioned that the AI lives inside the snapshot report, and if you need to edit the AI's knowledge base to add a little bit more, it just lives under the same one as your web chat widget there, the chat receptionist. You just go to configure, and you can see the trigger here is the message received on web chat snapshot report AI widget. So if you want to change how it looks, you go into the settings here. You could put different colors in there. If you didn't like the green and blue, that's the default. And then on the knowledge side, you can add knowledge sources in here as well. Right, that is just about all that I had for the snapshot report today. I'd like to dive into some questions now. Lily, do we have any questions in our queue?
Yes, definitely. Let me flash it out for you. Sorry, wrong one. Overlay.
No worries.
Okay, first question.
Do we have services in the marketplace to address the low grades in the snapshot reports, specifically AI visibility? So, larger answer to your question, Will, yes, we have many services to address these low scores. But specifically for AI visibility, you would be looking for a solution like um, a managed SEO solution that also addresses AEO and GEO. So something like Alpha SEO, one of our trusted vendors. Vendasta Services, our managed services, also has a SEO standard and SEO plus managed service that addresses AEO and GEO on the website as well. And then as in addition, any kind of like content that can be added to the website that would include keywords and whatnot. Essentially, SEO work is going to dovetail very nicely with that GEO, that AEO, that AI visibility is pulling from. We don't have a specific AI visibility product, but any of those managed services, especially like I mentioned, our Vendasta services team and the Alpha SEO take GEO heavily into account when they're doing their work. Great question.
Okay,
Why don't I see the chat? Why don't I see the chat in my snapshot reports? All right. So there's one of two reasons. It could be, and I've made this mistake before, if you are viewing it from the inside view, like we were doing at a certain point, the editable view, it won't show up there. It does have to be from the customer's view. But if it's not showing up there, what I would do is I would check in Partner Center under AI Workforce. We'll go into our chat receptionist, and we need to ensure that the trigger for message received on web chat snapshot report widget is checked. And if that gray check mark or blue check mark is not there, if you're able to check it, then do so. If you're not able to check it, that would be an issue to reach out to our support team for. That's support@vendasta.com. But that's the trigger that it's using to be able to interact with those snapshot reports. The other thing you have to make sure is it has the analyze snapshot report capability. So I guess that's the third thing to check. So under capabilities, if you don't see analyze snapshot report, click add a capability and check that one to turn it on. It should be on by default, but if you don't see it there and you're not able to add it, please reach out to our support. Great question, Eric. Carolyn, will the number of competitors we add increase anytime soon? Unfortunately, it does limit to 3 competitors, and I believe the reason for that is it's just the layout of the report itself, the width and whatnot of the screen. It can only accommodate a certain number of columns, and there's no functionality for like a carousel or anything. So no, as far as I know, there's no move to increase the number of competitors per report. All right. Breffney, you can only add competitors after it has been generated, not before. That's correct. So you have to generate it, but you don't have to share it out right away. Obviously, as we know, That first 24 hours is still cooking. So you would go into the edit and add them afterwards. There's not really a place in the CRM of Partner Center to put the competitors in ahead of time. You do have to add them to the report afterwards. Great question. Another from Carolyn. Will website section eventually build in GA? Oh, GA meaning Google Analytics. I would assume. There aren't currently any efforts to revamp the website portion, so I don't see that on the near horizon. However, as always, and Lily, if you can put up the feedback call to action there, we do have the feature request section of our feedback.vendasta.com. I would recommend putting it in there if that's something you would like to see. And anyone else who thinks that's a good idea should go in and upvote the suggestion. Our developers keep a close eye on this, and if there's something that a lot of partners are requesting, they will work to put it on the roadmap. So great question, but yes, not currently any plans in the near future. Thank you, Carolyn. Eric asks, how do I add competitors to an existing snapshot report? I haven't sent it to my client yet. I didn't know I could add competitors by name. So great question. It has to be within the first 7 days. The report still has to be active. That's the other thing I forgot to mention. After that first 7 days, you're going to see a little note on there that says expired. And you might say, oh, shoot, I waited too long. Don't worry. You can still send it to your clients. It's still a usable report. It just means that when it's expired, it's no longer able to be edited, and it's no longer pulling in new information from the internet to try and improve itself. So the longer you do wait to send it to your client, the less relevant it's going to be. My rule of thumb is if your snapshot report is less than 30 days old, it's probably still fine to send it to your clients. Beyond 30 days, I would recommend just refreshing it, spending another credit to run it again, just so you have the most up-to-date data. And unfortunately, if Eric, you created the snapshot report more than 7 days ago, it is too late to add competitors to the report. However, if you're still within that sweet spot, what you would do is you would come here. We'll just go step by step. We would go into our account or the CRM. You can find it either way. Once it's been run, I usually go to the account itself. But oh, I'm in the wrong. This is the wrong one here. Okay, that doesn't matter. Well, we'll just look into one that has one. So we go into here, JM Roofing, for instance. We click on View Snapshot Report. Then we would, instead of click View Full Report, we would click Edit Report, and that would take us into the report, which I will share the one that I've already put in. And then up at the top section, where we have all these little customizations, where we have the language and the meeting scheduler and whatever else, there's that competitors section. So then you would just click either use competitors website. Yes. Come on. My session has expired. Okay. It's still expired. Okay. My internet's not liking this. But essentially what you would do is you would come to this competitors section and you would either toggle use competitors websites to add them there, or if you've run snapshot reports for those competitors, use competitors snapshot reports. And then you'll be able to, and again, I'm not sure why it's not showing up for me here, but it'll give you 3 lines where you can add in those competitors, their websites, their, select their snapshot report, that kind of thing. Great question. David, is there a clear way to get a website index into the LLM aside from installing the LMN .txt and LLMS full text files on the web host? I would say, as far as my skills and my knowledge about the ins and outs of installing that sort of a thing, that sounds like all you should need to do. But I, to be completely honest, don't have a great handle on the actual ins and outs of the website design and the files needed. From what you've said and from what I know, that should be enough. But there may be other steps I'm not aware of. Apologies, I don't have a great answer to that one, David. PJ, are you only able to edit the report sections on a one-by-one basis, or can you have it default in your account? I don't ever want to show e-commerce in this report. Excellent. I think this might have been asked before I mentioned the customization. But yes, if we go into, oh, let me share my screen here, administration and partner center, and we go to customize under platform settings, and we go to sales, there should be a little button that says edit default snapshot template. Click on the little pencil, it's going to open it up, and you can edit that there, so it never shows up the e-commerce, et cetera, et cetera. Thank you, PJ. Thomas, the snapshot report has often had trouble finding a service area business using Google Business Profile. I can find it with a manual search in Google Maps. I assume this is Google's fault. What is the solution or workaround for that? I haven't run a service area business snapshot report recently. Location businesses are fine 99% of the time. And Thomas, you have pointed out a very common observation about a limitation of our platform. The snapshot report does have a hard time finding service area businesses, primarily because the method it's using is trying to connect onto or trying to search by Google, and part of what it does is that address piece. Service area businesses are kind of a blind spot. So if you have a service area business, what I would recommend you do is put as much information. Where are we here? I'm gonna go back a little bit before running the report in the accounts section. So, and again, if you're in companies, and let's just say we're in this company here. I'm not sure how I got moved over to our other test environment. It's a little messier in here. But if you get as much of the information as you can about the business, even if there's no address, you want to make sure the website's in here, the phone number's in here. If you've got social links and whatnot, you can add those to the account section as well. Actually, I am just going to move over because much clearer in our other one. There we go. So if we go to accounts, manage accounts, and I click into this here, putting as much information in the business section as you can before you run that report, hours and descriptions and images and like their social links and whatnot, having that all in there is going to help it. It's still going to show up certain little things as unable to be found. Oftentimes with the service area business, when it's talking about listings, it'll say Google is inconclusive. We weren't able to find you. And essentially what I recommend in that case, you can just say, hey, this is a tool. It's got some limitations. And one of those is it has a little bit of trouble finding your listing data for a service area business. And then you can reassure them, your friendly neighborhood marketing agency, I've done my due diligence. I've gone and looked. I can find you on Google. Your listings look good to me. So this report, take that piece with a grain of salt. It helps. Yet the limitation, you can turn that easily from a bug into a feature. It helps position you not only as somebody who has access to a tool like this, but it's somebody who doesn't take this tool as the gospel truth, but they go out and they make sure to do their due diligence. So it's a nice way to position yourself as, yeah, I don't lean on the technology exactly too heavily. It's great, but it has its limits. The real value is this guy right here. So that's what I'd recommend in that situation with that sort of a client. But very good call out. Service area businesses are a bit of a blind spot as far as searching the platform, our platform being able to search them and pull in information about them. From Carolyn, do you have to wait another 24 hours after adding the competitors? No, not generally a full 24 hours. It can take some time for that SEO section to properly populate. I would say if you do add them in, it can't hurt to wait that long just to make sure you're getting that full report. But if it's a little less, 12 hours or 10 hours or whatnot, it's not going to be 1 hour and they're in there. It will need some time to chew on it and to cook. All right. Anything else in our Q&A, Lily? Did we get them all?
We have one from Tommy who's asking if we do have time to show him how exactly he can add the snapshot report widget to the website.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah. So the snapshot report widget, that's the acquisition widget, you mean?
Yep, correct.
Excellent. Excellent. So yes, this is another thing. If you want to set it up on your website so that people can request a snapshot report, if we go to our marketing section and we go to acquisition widgets, you might not see this here. It might actually be under forms. If you see acquisition widgets, you can find it here, and it's a snapshot widget. We click into it. You can design it, configure it, whatnot. I recommend going into forms and building it. And we do have a acquisition widget template. So if you go forms and then choose templates, you can click on that. I want to use it. Yes, please create the form. Takes a moment. There we go. Form created successfully. So it gives us already their first name, their last name, their email, their company name, and then company info if not auto-filled. So this is another one where it's like if they're a service area business, the first thing they're going to see is this: their name, their email, phone number, or not phone number, company name, and submit. Then our system will try to find them just by Google search and pull that information in. If it's able to find it, the second thing they will see is a page saying, "Thank you, we're working on your report." If they're not able to find it, the next thing they're going to see is a second page with all this information that the client can then put in manually so that we can generate a snapshot report off of that. And then it'll give them the thank you page. Once that happens, once that form has been filled out, you are going to need to be the one to reach out to them with their snapshot report. And in order to do that, one thing you should always make sure you've got set up in the top corner, we have our bell notification icon here, and we're going to click the settings. And here's where you can set what notifications Partner Center is giving you. I would recommend scrolling down. There's lots of them in here, and you probably don't need all of them. Ones I will call out, the conversations is a big one. You want to know when a new lead comes in from your web chat, so make sure you've got the email checked and the app checked. App will give you a notification in Partner Center. Email will give you a notification in email, obviously. And then the other one I want to talk about, which is more specific to this topic, is the snapshot report. So you want to get an email when a snapshot report is ready. Now, one thing about the acquisition widget that I will say is you're going to want to make sure you're keeping an eye on how many people are actually filling that out, because you have a limited number of free snapshots per month, so you don't want to burn through them just with people on tire kicking on your website. So use with caution the acquisition widget. I find it a lot better, a lot more useful to be maybe just have a form instead of the acquisition widget where it's running a report. Just have a different form to collect information on your website. And when that form lead comes in, you can look at that lead, decide if it looks like a good one, and then run a snapshot report for them without it automatically generating one. That way you're being a little more tactical with your snapshot reports. Great question, though, and it is a functionality you have access to if you would like to use it. Oh, the other thing I should mention, if you have a larger sales team, or even a sales team more than just yourself, you may want to limit the number each salesperson can run every month because you don't want one person hogging them all. So if you go to administration, customize, no, do it. Come on now, let's just refresh. And we're going to customize just like before. We go into sales and we scroll down. Limit monthly snapshot reports. We toggle this box, and then you can say how many you want each salesperson to be limited. So maybe there are 2 of you, and you've got 50 snapshot reports per month. If you're on premium, maybe you limit it to 25, so you each get 25. If there's 2 of you and you're on professional and you get 25 a month, maybe just do limit at 12 for each, and then you've got an extra one in the chamber if you need it. That kind of thing. But that's a way you can limit, and then you essentially just click save, and that'll limit how many each salesperson is allowed to run. All right. Anything else, Lily? I know we're past our time today, but if there are any short questions here, I want to make sure we can get them in if we can.
Yeah, I think most of it we have already covered, and I'm sharing the team here a link from the Partner Center documentation regarding Snapshot Report overview. So that would be a good section here that you can look through with the link.
Thank you so much, Lily. Yeah, if you could share that link, that'd be great. And then the other thing is up next. This week, we have another sales and strategy with Vendasta, from agency to AI agency. And Lily, if you can put that call to action up in there, the sales and success one. So they have the registration link. This week we're being hosted by our very own Nate McCorkindale, one of Vendasta's senior account managers, and he's going to be discussing this fundamental shift in the overall digital landscape. So it's not one that you don't want to miss. Be sure to register if you haven't already. And then, of course, next week, whoops, same bat time, same bat channel. We've got support that scales. We are going to be building out and showing off the AI support agent. Remember those custom agents we were playing with? We did the inside salesperson last month. Rashida, my manager, is going to be coming in and giving us an overview of the AI support agent. So we're really looking forward to that. Please join us. Same bat time, same bat channel. And I won't keep you any longer. We really appreciate you being here with us today, and we can't wait to see you again. Take care and have a great Tuesday.